All right, so today is Monday, the 16th of March, 2026. We're having our morning analysis. Morning to Madam Onaji. Morning, Samsung SMA416M. Please, could you put your real name? But despite that, I still appreciate your comment. Good morning to you. So that we identify you as a person, not just calling you by your phone type. Good morning, Edifang. All right. So this week we, as usual, a lot of fundamental activities, but then wow, quite a number, quite a lot. But then I'll just show us briefly the key events for the week. Now, today, Monday, there'll be CPI from Canada. You know that CPI is a consumer price index. It's a major economic indicator, and we're having the one from Canada today. And time will be 1:30 p.m. It's about four events in one: CPI monthly, median CPI, trimmed CPI, common CPI yearly, along with Empire State Manufacturing Index from the US. But the key one is actually the event from Canada. So just watch out for volatility, across the major Canadian dollar pairs. I'll take my time to look at the one that will likely react best to this news so that you can take advantage of that to trade. Last Friday I gave my view of I think it was, I can't remember which event it was from Canada, and it really went out exactly as analyzed. So we hope to get similar volatility in the market today. Yeah. Okay. The last week was employment change on employment rate, where I said from the technicals I was seeing a bearish possibility, and that is what eventually happened. So we'll check again on the charts today to see which instruments will react best towards this CPI from Canada, and how you can take advantage of the opportunity to make money in the market. But then that's the key event today, 1:30 p.m. CPI from Canada. And on Tuesday, in the course of the early hours of the morning, 4:30 a.m., we have cash rate from Australia, same thing as what is called interest rate. And it will be followed simultaneously by the RBA restatement and RBA press conference by 5:30 a.m. Volatility is expected, trade with a lot of caution. Now, we're not trading this live. I mean, it's early hours of the morning, but then I'm just giving you, in case you want to trade it, you just, the simplest way is to check actual greater than forecast to buy, less than forecast to sell, actual equal to forecast, you stay out. So if you're interested, you can take note of that. And for Wednesday, the key event on Wednesday, this core PPI could move the dollar by 1:30 p.m. and there will be BOC, that's Bank of Canada restatement overnight rate, uh, BOC press conference, all this. But the biggest event for Wednesday is actually the federal funds rate. That's the FOMC. FOMC, federal fund rate, FOMC economic projection, FOMC statement is the biggest of all events on Wednesday. Markets react a lot. FOMC press conference between 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. There'll be a lot of volatility, on the US dollar based on this particular news event. And on Thursday, from Australia again, we have employment change on employment rate. This will lead to volatility. Anytime you have this kind of news, like that's what we had on last Friday for Canadian dollar, and we could see a lot of volatility on the card. So we expect similar volatility on the AUD Thursday morning by 1:30 a.m. And I think that's the biggest event for Thursday. Let me scroll down a little to see if there's another one. Now, all these other red ones, not say they won't move the market, but there are key events that really move the market. Claimant count change and average earning index could move the British pound Thursday by 8 a.m. We should take note of that. And I think those are the major events, that could move the market on Thursday. Let's see. Okay, there's still a lot. Later on Thursday, there'll be monetary policy summary, MPC official bank rate votes official bank rate. This is the interest rate for the United Kingdom by 1 p.m. This will most likely move the markets. Then 1:30 p.m. there'll be unemployment claims from the United States. So these are the key events that will move the market on Thursday. And on Friday, there'll be bank holiday from Japan. So be careful with any Japanese yen pair. And core retail sales, though medium impact event, but combined could give some volatility on the Canadian dollar. So these are the key events to watch out for this week, as we enter the market and we start trading. Let's take note of this event. All right, so I'm going straight to the chart now to show us my technical overview of different pairs that I believe will move in the course of the week. Definitely, I'll show you my reasons why I believe they will move for the week. Now, firstly, the dollar index, this morning we discovered that dollar index, already hit a resistance level on the daily time frame. Is it daily on the daily time frame? So it closed last Friday on a resistance zone. So technically, we may be having a bearish movement on the dollar in the course of this week. Dollar index is just that index that shows us what to expect on the dollar. So with that in mind, I'm looking at the USD CHF. Even though at the moment it's not giving us a clear reversal like we have seen on the dollar index, it's still a distance away from, you can see there's a resistance, there's a downward moving trend line, a bearish trend line, and there is a resistance up over there. Okay, I'm citing something, just a second. No, if this is support, that means the support zone is already broken. That will not be ideal. Okay, so there is actually a minor resistance up there. It's not too sharp on the daily, but then it's a bit clear on the 4 hour. That's this resistance up here. So price might need to go up to hit this resistance before we see a crash on the USD CHF. So I'm bearish on the USD CHF, but we need to wait for price to enter this zone so that there's a confluence between the resistance and the trend line that we're seeing from the daily time frame. Then from there, we might expect a crash on the USD CHF. So I'm bearish on the USD CHF for this week. Now, the GBP USD is very, very clear cut that we are bullish, strongly bullish on the GBP USD. Now, for the GBP USD, price closed last Friday, we have a previous resistance, then a support, another support, then a, an upward moving trend line where price hits a series of higher lows, higher lows. So now, from the resistance to support, we have a technical bullish outlook. From the overall bullish trend here, we also have a bullish outlook. So this region here is our confluence where the support on resistance and the trend line meet. So technically, we have a bullish projection on the GBP USD for this week. Now, if we flip down to the 1 hour time frame, I'm seeing quietly an inverse head and shoulder pattern forming. Now, if it fully forms, that is expected to lead to a bullish breakout, and we can as well still draw our do we have a falling wedge? No, just one trend line will do. We have our trend line right there. So we're going to be waiting for price to break out. This is the neckline region. So once price breaks out above the neckline in this axis here, and RSI crosses above 50, MACD crosses above 0, we should be set to trigger a buy on the GBP USD. And the potential for profit on this can go as much as about 35 pips to Fibonacci 38.2, as much as 67 pips to Fibonacci 50, and as much as 99, or let's say approximately 100 pips to Fibonacci 61.8. So watch out for this. From in the course of today, this could happen today. So we are bullish on the GBP USD. And we are also bullish. Now, a lot of the JPY peers are giving us, some setup also, like the CHF JPY, for instance, is giving us a bullish outlook also. Okay, the week just started. It looks like price is breaking out lower. Okay, we might need to ignore this. Price has broken the resistance turn support, so this is already invalidated. Let me check another one. Okay, the Euro JPY is still within range. For the Euro JPY on the 4 hour, though, it's a bit clearer on the daily. On the daily time frame, price is in an overall uptrend, and we have a support. So this is our confluence where we anticipate a movement to the upside, a continuation, not a reversal. So if you flip down to 1 hour, can see price within that support on resistance and the trend line. Now, earlier on, this was given like an inverse head and shoulder, though I would say that, I mean, maybe we can take it as a triple bottom at this point. But ultimately, what we're looking out for is a reversal breakout. It's a breakout to the upside. So we can still take this region as the neckline. So in the course of today, if price, makes its way back up here and breaks above this region, then we can look at taking a buy on the Euro JPY. And in terms of profit, also, we're looking at a movement of about 32 pips to Fibonacci 50, about 55 pips to Fibonacci 61.8, and as much as about 89 pips to Fibonacci 78.6. So we're bullish on the Euro JPY. Now, I'm also taking a close look at the GBP NZD. Now, this one is a bit, I wouldn't use the word a bit tricky anyway, but it can apply to both daily and 4 hour. On the daily time frame, we can see that price closed after hitting a previous support on resistance last week. So technically, we should be looking for a bearish movement. That's the daily. Let me just go straight to the 1 hour. Now, for the 1 hour, now this is my view. Like I said, it could be bullish, it could be bearish. It all depends on market structure. Now, price technically is forming what looks a lot like a double top pattern. So if price makes it down to this neckline region, one or two things will happen. This is a previous. Now, okay, let me start with the 4 hour. If it really makes it down as a double top, then price may break this trend line and continue dropping further downwards. So that will be a bearish breakout. But on the other hand, also, is the previous resistance turned support with a valid uptrend line. So price may drop here also and still make its way back up. So how do we trade this? If price breaks out below the lower trend line and maybe the trend line and that support, we will sell because that will be a valid double top, and price breaking out below it is a sell. If on the other hand also price comes to this zone and reverses back up, we'll buy back to the resistance. So it can be either a buy or a sell. It all depends on how the market chooses to move. So that's my outlook on the GBP NZD. All right, so I'll check AUD USD, and I think I'll be done with that. Now, this is AUD USD on the daily time frame. Price, I think we should start from the weekly. On the weekly time frame, price hit a resistance zone last week. There was a range for a couple of weeks. There was a range around this zone before we eventually had a bearish breakout last week. And on the daily time frame, price currently is still in an overall uptrend, but then it's dropping towards this support. There's a support here. Price is trying to drop to this support. Don't forget, we are bullish, we are bearish on the dollar, and as such, we are bullish on pairs like GBP USD and the AUD USD. So if price drops to this support, then we will expect a move back to the upside because of the overall bullish trend. So we expect a drop and a breakout to the upside. So if we move down to 1 hour time frame, we discover that at the moment price is not, on that level yet. So we need to patiently wait for price to drop. Then we can see a breakout to the upside. So I'll just draw a kind of a falling wedge, anticipating that move to the downside. So then breakout to the upside. All right, so that's my view on the AUD/USD, and that'll be all from my analysis this morning. I've analyzed the the dollar index, which is bearish, the GBP USD.
That's it, sir. So,
Please just hold on, please. Let me run through. I'm bullish on the GBP USD. I'm bullish on the AUD USD, and I'm bullish on the Euro JPY also. And for the GBP NZD, I said it could be bullish or bearish depending on where the breakout, is coming out from. All right, so that'll be all from my analysis for this morning. Uh, I'm seeing some Samsung SM. Please place trade now. There is no trade to be placed. There is none at the moment. When there is, we'll let you know. And that's why you need to join our 5X group where we drop signals. All right. Somebody was trying to talk. You can go ahead, sir.
please, my network was very disturbing when you started. Please, let me
Okay.
check that BTC, please.
I
I
should check
joined
what?
it. My BTC.
BTC. All right, that's noted.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so this is BTC USD, and BTC USD currently is trading around a resistance level on the daily time frame. Technically, at resistance levels, we're going to be looking for possibility of a reversal to the downside. Okay, the trend line is far away from you, so we can't make use of that for now. So, but then we expect a reversal, except if there's a breakout. There's an ongoing war which could influence prices. The war between US Israel combined against Iran, and it's really been moving the market lately, affecting different assets. Now, another valid reason why we should look for a bearish movement is because of this previous support turned resistance. Technically, we should see a bearish movement, except if the war hostilities continue today, that may change. But technically, as at this moment, I'm seeing a bearish movement on the BTC USD. So we can draw a trend line right there and expect a breakout to the downside. Just confirm at the point of entry that your RSI is below 50 and your MACD is possibly below 0. And with that, you can trigger a sell on BTC USD. So we're bearish on the BTC USD. Charles Ibok, audio fails. Can't hear anything. Let me confirm. Can everybody hear me clearly, please? If you can unmute or you can just type. Yes, I can hear
Loud
you.
and clear. Loud and clear.
Loud
Yes,
and
I
clear.
can hear you very well.
All
Loud
right,
and
thank
clear.
you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Charles Ibok, you may need to check your network. So let me just quickly respond to Charles Ibok. Um, all right, so I just responded to Mr. Charles. So let's check other requests here. Trust Udo USD JPY. Now for USD JPY price, you know, broke out above this resistance, closed a little above it last Friday. That's the weekly time frame. Let's check the daily. Yeah, it's clearly closed above the resistance. But then today's candle is looking bearish. So let's still hope for a bearish movement. Though the dollar index is showing that the dollar index hit resistance and we may be experiencing a reversal this week. So let's just go with that. If we're going with that, then this is the 1 hour version of the USD and we have a perfect looking rising wedge pattern. So we may be expecting a decline in USD in the course of today. Currently, price has broken out below the lower trend line, but to be honest, you need to trade JPY pairs with a lot of caution. RSI is below 50, it's at 47. I would advise to wait for RSI, for MACD to cross below zero, and then you can trigger a sell on the USD. So we're bearish on the USD. Price may move, let's look at maybe entry around this area. We may see a drop of 34 pips at Fibonacci 38.2, as much as 63 pips to Fibonacci 50, and as much as 92 pips to Fibonacci 61.8. So we're very bearish on the USD. Gold, Euro USD and gold. Okay. So let's check Euro USD, then we'll check on gold. Again, we are bearish on the dollar, so we should be bullish on the Euro USD. So for the Euro USD, price is approaching a very key support zone, very, very close. So if it touches it, we expect a reversal to the upside. That's daily time frame. On the 1 hour, okay, on the 1 hour, we're also seeing the formation of an inverse head and shoulder. But price might still drop, or then it came quite close. So it's one or two things. If on psychological levels, it's taking that area already as a support, fine. We may see a breakout to the upside, or otherwise, price may still come to touch it, then break out. Either way it goes, we still remain very, very bullish on the Euro USD. And we have a falling wedge pattern to support this. So once price breaks out above the neckline region around this axis, we can safely trigger a buy to on the Euro USD. And further confirmation is our RSI above 50 and MACD above zero. Those are very important. You should take note of them when trading. And in terms of profit, you should be making between 36 pips to Fibonacci 38.2, 66 pips to Fibonacci 50, and 96 pips to Fibonacci 61.8. So we're bullish on the Euro USD. Then finally, we look at gold. Now, like I said earlier, when I was analyzing BTC, there's an ongoing war, Israel, United States combined against Iran. So that is really moving the market, and gold is not an exception. Though in the last couple of weeks, gold has not moved as expected because due to the war, we were supposed to be seeing, more of bullish movement on gold, but instead we've been seeing price kind of drop. So this is gold on daily time frame, and price seemed to hit a support, but it's clearer on the 4 hour. We have a rejection candle on the support zone. So technically, we may be looking for a bullish movement. So let's flip down to 1 hour or possibly 15 minutes to get clarity. Um, Now, even though on the 4 hour, this is a rejection candle, but on the 15 minutes, I'm seeing a lot of range around that area. And the trend line price is still very, very far away from the trend line. All right. So we may just look at the supports, sorry, at the range zone alone for now, except further confirmations come from the market. All right. I'm coming. Okay. Two sides to this. We can see a breakout to the upside, and we may see a short movement to the downside. And I'll give you my reasons. Onto the upside, like I said earlier, we have a rejection candle. Let me remove the period separator. We have a rejection candle here on the 4 hour on the support zone. This can actually trigger a big move to the upside. But currently, like I said, on the lower time frame, it's actually we see a lot of range within that. After that major rejection candle, these other ones, it's more of ranging. So currently at this support on the 15 minutes time frame, we can't ignore this. On the 15 minutes time frame, we saw a very sharp looking doji, and currently we are seeing a reversal, kind of a reversal pattern forming. Now, I'll draw my trend line and get a rising wedge with this. If price breaks out below this pattern here, we will see a minor bearish movement. But then you need a confirmation of your RSI below 50 and MACD below 0 to trigger a sell. And you may target the support, the nearest support zone for possible profit. So that's I say on the short term, we may see a bearish movement on gold. But on the bigger side, if price breaks out above, we'll see a major bullish movement. So it all depends on how the market chooses to move this morning. A short-term bearish, a bigger picture bullish on gold. Should give her credit. All right, so that'll be all from analysis this morning. Don't forget to join us again by 12:30 p.m. for the afternoon analysis. And if you're not on our 5X group, you're missing a lot. 5X is our signal group. So for the person asking about signals, we do drop signals, but we have them on our 5X group. So you can reach out to your account manager on how to get added to the group. It's for funded clients. So it means you need to have an open account with PU Prime, and also the account should be verified and funded to be a part of the 5X group. All right. So we'll see you again some other time.
Sorry,
Take
sir.
care.
Sorry, sir. I have something to say, sir. I don't know whether I will have the opportunity.
All right, sir.
Yeah, the first group, the one that I'm added to, what I normally see there is you guys dropping maybe when signal has been dropped. I don't know where you drop it, but when the thing is moving in profit, people will be sending, whether some instructors will be sending the gain they are making from it. I'm not seeing signals. So I begin to remember last time I asked you, how can someone join? So I should talk to my account manager. But I noticed that I was added to 15S group. So I don't know whether they are two in numbers. Sir.
You have only one 5X group. Now, when signals are dropped, you need to take it immediately. If you don't, well, that signal goes. Now, usually updates are sent. Now, there are many groups at PU Prime. So across other groups, updates are always sent about how the signal that has been given is doing. But usually on the 5X, you will see signals. Other groups could be updates, but 5X, just make sure you're constantly checking when signal drops. You will surely see.
Okay, all right, no problem. Thank you, sir.
All right. The group you're on, is it labeled 5X or is just PU Prime group?
No,
Is
no,
it
the 5S challenge.
5X challenge? That's our 5X now. Just be more constant in checking it.
Okay, sir. All
Be
right.
more constant. And you can also generate signals by yourself. You see, we've had webinars where I show people how to use our PU Prime Auto Chartist, in combination with Heatmap. It generates
Yeah,
signals, clean signals.
I have actually watched it. I have actually watched your program on that. The
All
other
right.
one is free. The other one, I don't know. It said we need to, is it to pay for it or something like that? So I don't know.
Well, Auto Chartist is again, it's for funded clients. If you're funded, you can get access to Auto Chartist. Yes. So if you know you have funds in your account, just reach out to your account manager. Maybe you might just do a little top up. You get access to Auto Chartist and generate signals all by yourself.
Okay, all right. Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah, you're welcome. So
Maybe I
don't
will go
forget.
back to watch that.
All right. Don't forget also that we have physical training twice in a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m. at both Abuja and Lagos office. And we also have online classes on Mondays and Wednesdays by 4 p.m. Do join us for all these events. All right. Take care and have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.
And you too. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, Madam Monaji.